June 15th, 1943. Peenemünde Air Base, Baltic Coast of Germany. At 0900 hours in a secured laboratory deep within the Luftwaffe's testing facility, 5 German engineers bent over a dismantled American bombing device. Chief Engineer Klaus Hoffman carefully removed the gyroscopic housing with gloved hands. "Impossible," he whispered as the inner mechanisms revealed themselves. Within hours, the room fell silent. After-action reports from the examination team recorded the same conclusion. The precision exceeded anything in the German arsenal by factors of 10. The bombsight that had terrorized German cities with pinpoint accuracy now lay exposed, but understanding it would prove more challenging than anyone anticipated. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. The device was America's most closely guarded secret weapon, MiG, the Norden Mark XV bombsight. Developed over a decade and shrouded in security measures bordering on paranoia, it represented technological achievement that German intelligence had dismissed as American propaganda. Bombardiers who operated it swore oaths, promising to destroy it if capture seemed imminent. They carried sidearms specifically to defend it. The bombsight was, as American commanders called it, the single most important military advantage in the strategic bombing campaign against the Third Reich. December 7th, 1942. Frankfurt, Germany. On an examination table inside Luftwaffe intelligence headquarters lay the charred remains of an aluminum casing labeled ANMI 9, B1, property of United States Army Air Forces. Colonel Werner Streib of the Luftwaffe Technical Division demanded immediate analysis. After the previous night's bombing raid on Frankfurt's industrial district, a damaged B-17 had crashed just outside the city. The crew perished, but among the wreckage, German recovery teams discovered something unprecedented: an intact Norden bombsight, its protective thermite charges having failed to detonate. Expectations were clear: reverse engineer this device. Understand how American bombers achieved such precision. Develop countermeasures or, ideally, copy the technology for German use. But reality was already working against them. Germany's research capabilities in 1942 were increasingly focused on immediate solutions rather than fundamental innovation. Resources were stretched thin across too many competing projects: ATA, the V-2 rocket program, jet aircraft development, and submarine warfare all commanded priority. The Norden bombsight represented something different: a decade of peacetime development with seemingly unlimited resources. Initial examination revealed mind-boggling complexity. Over 2,000 precision-made components, a mechanical analog computer system that solved complex trigonometry in real time, gyroscopic stabilization that maintained accuracy despite aircraft movement, optical sighting systems with unprecedented clarity. Each component required specialized manufacturing techniques that German industry would struggle to replicate under wartime conditions. Colonel Streib's initial report to Goering's office noted, "American technical achievement exceeds our intelligence assessments by significant margins. The precision optical elements alone represent manufacturing capabilities we cannot match under current conditions." The bombsight's heart was an analog computing system that continuously calculated an extremely complex mathematical problem, HA, the trajectory of a bomb falling through varying wind conditions while compensating for aircraft at speed, altitude, and drift. More impressive still, it did this mechanically, without vacuum tubes or electrical computation. Gears, cams, and differential systems worked in harmony to solve equations that would take mathematicians hours to calculate by hand. Early models from the recovered Frankfurt and bombsight were meticulously disassembled. Each part was photographed, measured, and analyzed. Engineers at the Zeiss Optical Works examined the lenses and prisms with growing admiration. A senior optical engineer wrote, "The grinding precision exceeds our current manufacturing tolerances by a factor of 3. We must acknowledge that in this narrow field, American technical capability has surpassed our own." The bombsight contained 2 primary systems working in concert. First, a stabilization system using gyroscopes that maintained a level platform regardless of aircraft movement. Second, a mechanical computer that calculated the exact moment to release bombs based on variables entered by the bombardier. These variables included aircraft speed, altitude, wind direction, wind speed, and bomb ballistics. Once programmed, the bombsight actually took control of the aircraft through an autopilot system during the bombing run, removing human error from the equation. April 1943. Zeiss Optical Works, Jena, Germany. Range cards showed side-by-side comparisons. Norden Mark XV versus the German Lofter 7D bombsight. Engineers recorded accuracy measurements, stabilization performance, and computational speed. Results confirmed what German leadership feared. The American device achieved circular error probabilities, roughly 65% smaller than German equivalents. At 25,000 feet, /Nellas, the typical altitude of American bombing raids, /Nellas, this translated to bombs falling within a 400-meter circle, instead of the German system's 650-meter dispersion pattern. Technical analysis revealed the core advantage. The Norden's optical tracking system allowed bombardiers to identify targets from higher altitudes with greater clarity. Its gyroscopic stabilization maintained accuracy despite evasive maneuvers. Most importantly, its mechanical computer processed adjustments faster and more precisely than German systems. The combination created a weapon that could place bombs inside factory compounds from altitudes beyond effective anti-aircraft fire. A Zeiss engineering memo from this period, translated for intelligence purposes, stated, "Optical glass quality shows no impurities at 200x magnification. Lens grinding achieves tolerances of 0.6 mm, exceeding our current manufacturing capability of 0.15 mm. American production has somehow achieved precision mass production we believed impossible outside of laboratory conditions." The cause and effect relationship was becoming clear. American industrial might had been directed toward solving a single problem, IMT, precision bombing, with resources that Germany couldn't match. The result was a weapon system that could systematically dismantle German industry from altitudes that rendered many defenses ineffective. Every factory struck with pinpoint accuracy represented not just physical damage, but a psychological blow to German confidence in their air defenses. What shocked German engineers wasn't just the bombsight's capability, but its production quality. This wasn't a handcrafted laboratory prototype. It was a mass-produced weapon manufactured to tolerances that German optical works could barely achieve with their finest craftsmen. Somehow, America had industrialized precision at a scale Germany had believed impossible. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. May 1943, Luftwaffe headquarters, Berlin. An intelligence briefing assembled for Hermann Göring displayed a troubling assessment. At first, the Reichsmarschall dismissed the reports as exaggeration. "Impossible," he declared. "American industry produces automobiles and refrigerators. They cannot have surpassed our optical works." But the evidence was irrefutable. Test data, material analysis, and component evaluations all pointed to the same conclusion. American. In this specific technology, American engineering had achieved superiority. What followed was a paradigm shift in German thinking about American technical capability. Before the bombsight's capture, German leadership had consistently underestimated American industrial sophistication. They viewed America as a mass production economy that sacrificed quality for quantity. The Norden bombsight shattered that perception. Here was a device of extraordinary complexity, being manufactured with precision that matched or exceeded Germany's finest technical achievements. Hoffman's team conducted metallurgical analysis of key components. The results further challenged German assumptions. Specialized alloys in the gyroscope bearings exhibited uniformity that German industry struggled to match under wartime conditions. The aluminum housing contained precise amounts of copper and magnesium, optimized for weight reduction while maintaining structural integrity. Even the screws showed consistent threading that spoke to advanced manufacturing processes. An assessment delivered to Albert Speer's office in June 1943 noted, "The American bombsight represents not just technical achievement but industrial capability we must acknowledge. They have solved mass production of precision instruments in ways our industry has yet to match." The reverse engineering effort expanded. Teams from Askania, Siemens, and Zeiss collaborated on understanding different subsystems. Metallurgists from Krupp analyzed material composition. Aviation experts from Messerschmitt studied the integration with aircraft control systems. What emerged was a comprehensive picture of a weapon system conceived, developed, and manufactured with seemingly unlimited resources. The cause and effect chain became clear to German leadership. America had identified strategic bombing as a cornerstone of its war strategy. This required solving the problem of accuracy from high altitudes. Unlimited resources were directed at this single problem for over a decade before war began. The result was a system that could systematically dismantle German industry with mathematical precision. By summer 1943, the reality of American bombing accuracy was visible in reconnaissance photographs. Factory buildings split precisely in half, bomb patterns forming tight clusters around railway junctions, bridges dropped with surgical precision. These weren't lucky strikes. They were the calculated result of a technological advantage that German air defenses struggled to counter. Colonel Strabe commissioned a comparative analysis. Bombsights from American, British, German, and Italian aircraft were evaluated side by side under laboratory conditions. The results told a story of diverging development paths. British bombsights showed incremental improvements on established designs. Italian systems relied on simplified calculations with greater dependence on bombardier skill. German bombsights represented solid engineering with good reliability but limited computational capability. The Norden, however, existed in a different category altogether. It approached the bombing problem from first principles, creating a solution that removed human calculation from the equation entirely. Once programmed with initial variables, the system took control, combining stabilization, computation, and precise timing in ways that seemed almost prescient to observers. A Luftwaffe analysis from July 1943 stated, "The device anticipates variables we typically leave to bombardier judgment. It integrates wind correction, drift compensation, and timing in a unified system that eliminates cumulative error. The fundamental approach differs from our philosophy of enhanced human operation." June 1943, Peenemünde Test Range. Engineer teams attempted practical replication of the Norden's capabilities using their understanding of its principles. Results were disappointing. While German engineers grasped the theoretical framework, translating theory into functioning prototypes revealed the gap between understanding and implementation. Components that appeared straightforward in disassembly proved extraordinarily difficult to manufacture to required tolerances. Hoffman documented the challenge bluntly. "We understand how it works. We cannot produce what we understand. Manufacturing limitations, not conceptual barriers, prevent replication." This was a profound realization. Germany's vaunted technical expertise could comprehend the bombsight's operation, but could not reproduce it under wartime conditions. The materials gap proved equally challenging. Certain specialized alloys in the gyroscopic systems required elements increasingly difficult to obtain in blockaded Germany. Bearing surfaces needed particular hardness, combined with precision machining that exceeded available capacity. Optical elements required glass free from impurities that German manufacturers could no longer guarantee with material shortages. A material analysis report highlighted the disconnect. Theoretical composition achievable. Production-scale implementation impossible under current supply conditions. This represented the central paradox of Germany's wartime technology race. Individual brilliance and technical understanding couldn't overcome industrial capacity limitations and resource scarcity. The Norden bombsight revealed something else that troubled German leadership. 12. The scale of American industrial planning. This wasn't a weapon developed in reaction to war. Its development began in the 1920 seconds, receiving continuous refinement and investment for nearly 2 decades. While Germany had focused on immediate rearmament after 1933, America had somehow maintained long-term development of precision weapons systems before they were immediately needed. A strategic assessment prepared for Hitler's headquarters noted, "The bombsight represents not merely current American capability, but their industrial foresight. Development clearly began years before hostilities, suggesting planning horizons that exceed our pressuries." Intelligence estimates. By August 1943, German engineers reached a sobering conclusion. They could not replicate the Norden bombsight within timeframes relevant to the current conflict. Instead, efforts shifted toward countermeasures, ATAP smoke screens to obscure targets, dispersed factory arrangements, dummy facilities, and enhanced fighter interception of bombing formations before they reached their targets. This represented a strategic inflection point. German leadership had to acknowledge that in this specific area of technology, they faced a disadvantage they could not overcome through innovation alone. The implication was clear. American bombing would grow increasingly precise as manufacturing ramped up production of these sophisticated devices. Hoffman's final assessment to Luftwaffe Command didn't mince words. "The bombsight represents American technical achievement that we cannot match under current conditions. Our efforts should focus on mitigation rather than replication." In a quiet moment after delivering this report, Hoffman confided to his deputy, "It isn't just the device itself, it's what it represents. They built something requiring our finest craftsmen, then found ways to mass produce it without sacrificing precision. That's the real achievement we're struggling to answer." September 1943, Berlin. Reichsminister Speer requested a comprehensive evaluation of the strategic implications. The resulting analysis painted a concerning picture. If American bombing accuracy continued to improve, as more aircraft were equipped with Norden bombsights, German industrial dispersal and concealment would become increasingly ineffective. Critical manufacturing nodes could be systematically eliminated regardless of passive defenses. The assessment concluded, "The precision bombing capability represented by this device fundamentally changes aerial warfare calculations. Area bombing can be endured through dispersal. Precision bombing of critical nodes cannot be mitigated through passive measures alone." The technical findings circulated through Germany's highest military offices by November 1943. Field Marshal Erhard Milch of the Luftwaffe received the comprehensive analysis with visible concern. "So the Americans have not been exaggerating," he remarked to his staff. "Their precision bombing capability exceeds our defenses." The implications were profound. Germany had built an air defense network optimized against British night bombing, searchlights, radar-directed flak batteries, and night fighters. Against high-altitude American daylight raids guided by the Norden bombsight, these defenses proved increasingly inadequate. A Luftwaffe intelligence assessment dated November 15, 1943 stated, "American bombing formations now demonstrate systematic target selection, prioritizing critical manufacturing nodes. Single factories within industrial complexes are being isolated and destroyed with precision that suggests targeting based on detailed intelligence combined with delivery capability beyond our previous estimates." The captured bombsight had revealed something else that troubled German command: America's ability to integrate multiple advanced technologies into a unified system. The Norden wasn't just an optical device. It connected to autopilot systems, coordinated with bombsight radar, when equipped, and functioned as part of a comprehensive bombing strategy. This system-level integration represented American technical sophistication that German intelligence had consistently underestimated. By December 1943, the evidence was undeniable. Reconnaissance photographs showed American bombing patterns tightening month by month. Critical factories that had been carefully camouflaged were being hit with disturbing accuracy. Railway junctions were being severed with minimal collateral damage. Power stations were being disabled with precision strikes to generating equipment rather than area bombardment. General Adolf Galland, commander of German fighter forces, noted in his command journal, "American bombing accuracy has improved dramatically. They no longer waste bombs across wide areas but concentrate on specific buildings within complexes. Our dispersal strategy is being systematically defeated. The technical understanding of the Norden bombsight spread to operational commanders who needed to develop countermeasures. German fighter tactics evolved in response. Rather than engaging bomber formations throughout their approach, fighters concentrated on attacking before bombers reached their initial point, the moment when the Norden bombsight took control of the aircraft. Disrupting formation integrity before this phase proved more effective than trying to break through the concentrated defensive fire of bomber boxes already on their bombing runs. January 1944, Augsburg, Germany. A production schedule pinned to the wall at the Messerschmitt factory showed dramatic increases in fighter production targets. Germany's answer to precision bombing was clear: destroy the bombers before they could reach their targets. But reality on the factory floor told a different story. Precision machine tools damaged in recent raids were being repaired with increasing difficulty. Material shortages affected production quality. The workforce was stretched thin as more skilled workers were drafted to replace infantry losses on the Eastern Front. An internal memorandum from Messerschmitt's production director noted, "American bombing now specifically targets tooling sections rather than final assembly areas. They have identified our manufacturing bottlenecks with disturbing accuracy." This observation revealed something crucial about America's strategic bombing campaign. It wasn't just technically advanced, it was intelligence-driven in ways that suggested deep understanding of German industrial organization. The precision capabilities of the Norden bombsight were being married to economic intelligence that identified exactly which buildings contained irreplaceable equipment. A February 1944 Speer Ministry assessment concluded, "The enemy now demonstrates the capability to destroy specific buildings within factory complexes. This precision, combined with apparent knowledge of internal production organization, represents a qualitative shift in the strategic bombing threat." Professor Kurt Tank, designer of the Focke-Wulf aircraft, inspected bombing damage at the Cottbus aircraft factory and remarked to his engineering team, "They didn't just hit the factory, they hit exactly where our newest jigs and tooling were installed. This is not random targeting." The cause and effect chain was now visible in physical form. The Norden bombsight's precision created capability for targeted destruction. Intelligence identified the most critical nodes. Combined, they formed a systematic dismantling of Germany's most sophisticated industries, exactly those that were hardest to replace or relocate. By spring 1944, German factories were being moved underground or dispersed into small, camouflaged facilities. But this dispersion created its own problems: coordination difficulties, transportation bottlenecks, and quality control issues. A weapon that required 5 factories to produce components and a 6th to assemble them was inherently more vulnerable to disruption than one built entirely in a single facility. A confidential report to Hitler's headquarters in March 1944 didn't mince words. Dispersal alone cannot counter precision bombing. Each relocated facility requires transportation links, power, and worker housing. These supporting elements remain vulnerable, regardless of how well we hide the factories themselves. The psychological impact spread beyond military and industrial circles. The Norden bombsight had achieved something remarkable. It had created the impression of inevitable vulnerability. German civilians increasingly perceived American bombers as possessing almost supernatural accuracy. Stories circulated of bombs falling down specific factory chimneys or threading between buildings to hit hidden facilities. A security service report from April 1944 noted, "Civilian morale shows increasing concern about American bombing precision. Public perception holds that no facility can be adequately protected regardless of camouflage or dispersal." This perception wasn't entirely accurate. The Norden bombsight, while revolutionary, still had limitations, but the psychological effect was real. The bombsight had become a symbol of American technical superiority that eroded confidence in German air defenses. May 1944, Munich, Germany. At a secure facility, Hoffman's team had finally produced a working prototype incorporating principles from the Norden design. The goal wasn't exact replication, but adaptation of key concepts to improve German bombsights. Results were promising in laboratory tests, showing approximately 30% improvement in accuracy over existing German systems. But laboratory success translated poorly to production reality. The prototype required manufacturing precision that German industry, under constant bombing and material shortages, could no longer deliver consistently. Components that worked perfectly when handcrafted by master technicians failed quality testing when produced in quantity. Hoffman's progress report acknowledged this fundamental challenge. Design improvements verified in principle. Production-scale implementation remains beyond current industrial capability. This represented the central paradox of Germany's response to the Norden bombsight. German engineers could understand it, even improve upon certain aspects of its design, but could not replicate the industrial ecosystem that made mass production of such precision devices possible. The contrast became starker as intelligence reports tracked American bombsight production. By mid-1944, American factories were producing approximately 2,000 Norden bombsights monthly. Germany struggled to produce 300 of its less sophisticated Luftwaffe bombsights in the same period. The gap wasn't just qualitative, it was quantitative at a scale that strategic planners found increasingly alarming. A June 1944 assessment prepared for Göring's staff calculated, American bombsight production now exceeds our total precision optical manufacturing capacity across all military requirements. We cannot match this output even if we diverted all resources from other optical systems. The implications reached beyond bombsights to a fundamental reassessment of American industrial capability. German intelligence had consistently viewed American industry as optimized for quantity over quality, capable of producing vast numbers of adequate weapons but not sophisticated precision instruments. The Norden bombsight shattered this perception, demonstrating that America could mass-produce devices requiring tolerances previously associated only with German or Swiss craftsmanship. By summer 1944, the strategic bombing campaign had entered a new phase. American bombers were increasingly equipped with H-2X radar that complemented the Norden bombsight, allowing precision attacks even through cloud cover. The system-level integration that German analysts had noted was expanding to incorporate multiple targeting technologies working in concert. A July 1944 Luftwaffe intelligence summary observed, American bombing accuracy maintains precision even in adverse weather conditions that previously limited operations. Their integrated radar and optical systems represent capability beyond our current countermeasures. German fighters still achieved victories against bomber formations, but increasingly found themselves diverted to defensive roles or constrained by fuel shortages. The Norden bombsight's role in this strategic equation was foundational. It had created the baseline precision that made American daylight, bombing a viable strategy despite initial heavy losses. Technical analysis of later model bombsights recovered from downed aircraft revealed continuing American refinement. Newer versions incorporated simplified manufacturing techniques without sacrificing accuracy, evidence of ongoing industrial optimization. Weight reduction, improved stabilization, and better integration with radar systems showed evolutionary improvements rather than revolutionary redesigns. An August 1944 technical assessment noted, current American bombsight production demonstrates mature technology optimization. They have transitioned from development to refined mass production while maintaining precision tolerances. This observation highlighted another aspect of American technical prowess that impressed German analysts, the ability to transition from handcrafted prototypes to mass production without compromising fundamental performance. German industry excelled at creating exceptional individual examples, but often struggled with the transition to high-volume production. By autumn 1944, the strategic situation had deteriorated further. American bombing now systematically targeted Germany's fuel production and transportation networks. The precision capability, embodied in the Norden bombsight, allowed planners to identify and destroy specific components within these systems: catalytic crackers in refineries, particular bridge spans in railway networks, transformer stations in power grids. A September 1944 assessment from Albert Speer's ministry documented the cumulative effect. American strategic bombing has evolved from area attacks to systematic infrastructure disassembly. Their ability to identify and destroy specific critical components within complex systems represents intelligence analysis married to precision delivery capability that we cannot currently counter. The cause and effect relationship had evolved into a comprehensive strategic approach. American technical intelligence identified industrial bottlenecks and vulnerabilities. The Norden bombsight provided the means to attack those vulnerabilities precisely. The combination created cascading failures throughout Germany's increasingly fragile industrial base. October 1944, Berlin. A Ministry of Armaments emergency conference addressed the accelerating crisis in precision industries. Bombing had systematically targeted facilities producing bearings, optical equipment, specialized steel alloys, and electrical components. These precision industries, once Germany's particular strength, were now specifically vulnerable to targeted bombing. The conference minutes recorded a stark assessment. High-precision manufacturing represents a particular vulnerability to enemy action. The specialized machine tools, skilled workforce, and quality control requirements cannot be dispersed or hidden effectively when faced with precision bombing capability. This represented a strategic inflection point in the air war. Germany's sophisticated weapons programs increasingly relied on precisely the types of manufacturing capability most vulnerable to American precision bombing. Projects like advanced jet aircraft, guided missiles, and submarine systems required industrial precision that could no longer be guaranteed under sustained attack. A November 1944 intelligence assessment quantified the growing gap. American bomber production now exceeds 700 heavy bombers monthly, each equipped with bombing systems superior to our most advanced models. Our fighter production cannot sustain attrition ratios necessary to counter this capability. By winter 1944-45, the accumulated effect of precision bombing on Germany's industrial base became systemically crippling. Transportation networks could no longer move raw materials efficiently. Power generation became unreliable as specific generators and transformers were targeted. Precision manufacturing capabilities for critical components like ball, bearings, optical systems, and specialized alloys declined precipitously. A December 1944 report to Hitler's headquarters concluded, "The enemy's ability to identify and precisely destroy critical industrial nodes has created cascading failures throughout our manufacturing ecosystem. Redundancy and dispersal strategies have been systematically defeated through precision, rather than overwhelming force." The Norden bombsight had become the embodiment of this precision strategy. Its capabilities had shaped American bombing doctrine, which in turn shaped the systematic dismantling of Germany's industrial capacity. What began as a technical assessment of a captured device had evolved into a strategic reckoning with American industrial and technical capability that German leadership had fundamentally underestimated. January 1945, Munich. Hoffman's team received urgent orders to evacuate their research facility ahead of advancing Allied forces. Technical documents related to the Norden analysis were prioritized for relocation to secure archives. But the knowledge gained from the bombsight study had already transformed German technical assessment of American capabilities. Hoffman's final report, dated January 12, 1945, offered a candid retrospective. Our initial technical analysis focused narrowly on the device's mechanical and optical systems. The true significance lay in what it represented, the ability to mass-produce precision instruments at a scale we did not believe possible. This fundamental misjudgment informed strategic miscalculations at the highest levels. As Germany's situation deteriorated in early 1945, the strategic bombing campaign increasingly shifted toward remaining transportation and fuel targets. The precision capability that the Norden bombsight had introduced allowed this targeting to continue effectively despite dispersal, camouflage, and defensive measures. A February 1945 Luftwaffe situation report stated, American bombing accuracy continues to improve despite our countermeasures. Critical bridges are now being disabled, with single-digit numbers of bombs rather than hundreds. This precision conserves their munitions while maximizing strategic effect. The cause and effect relationship had reached its final phase. Precision bombing capability had evolved from a technical curiosity to a strategic advantage, to a systematic dismantling mechanism, targeting exactly the specialized industrial capacity Germany needed most desperately. By March 1945, German fighter production had collapsed despite frantic efforts to maintain output. The precision bombing of specialized component manufacturers had created insurmountable bottlenecks. Aircraft might be assembled, but critical components, precision bearings, specialized alloys, optical systems, calibrated instruments, were increasingly unavailable in usable quality or quantity. A March 15, 1945 production summary reported, fighter completion rates now limited primarily by specialized component availability. Final assembly capacity exceeds component supply by approximately 300%. Precision-dependent systems show highest failure rates. This represented the ultimate vindication of the precision bombing strategy enabled by the Norden bombsight. Rather than destroying final assembly plants, the bombing campaign had systematically eliminated the specialized supply chain that fed those plants. The result was more devastating than area bombing could have achieved. Aircraft production crippled not by destroying factories, but by eliminating their ability to source critical components. As American forces approached, German technical teams received orders to destroy remaining research materials related to captured Allied technology. Hoffman ensured the Norden bombsight documentation was secured in a mountain repository alongside other technical intelligence materials. His final entry in the project journal, dated April 10, 1945, offered a perspective that would shape post-war German engineering culture. The most valuable lesson from this analysis was not technical but philosophical. We confronted fundamental assumptions about American industrial capability that proved catastrophically wrong. Future German technical development must avoid similar misjudgments of potential adversaries. As Germany approached surrender in late April 1945, American technical intelligence teams began systematic collection of German technical documentation. Among their priorities were any materials related to German analysis of captured American technology, particularly the Norden bombsight. A May 1945 American intelligence collection report noted, German technical analysis of captured Norden bombsights demonstrates sophisticated understanding of the device's principles. Their inability to replicate it appears to stem from industrial capacity limitations rather than conceptual barriers. This assessment validated what American planners had anticipated, that Germany could understand the bombsight but not replicate it under wartime conditions. The precision manufacturing ecosystem required for mass production of such devices had been systematically dismantled by the very weapon it was trying to copy. The story of Germany's encounter with the Norden bombsight represented more than technical analysis of a captured device. It embodied a fundamental reassessment of American capabilities that came too late to influence the war's outcome. German leadership had dismissed America as a mass-production economy lacking sophisticated engineering capability. The bombsight proved this assumption catastrophically wrong. May 1945, Berchtesgaden, Bavaria. American technical intelligence officers examined captured German documents in a mountain repository. Captain Robert Anderson of the United States Strategic Bombing Survey carefully catalogued folders labeled Norden Analysis, Final Reports. What these officers discovered would reshape their understanding of the bombing campaign's effectiveness. The German documents weren't just technical assessments, they contained strategic reconsiderations that revealed how deeply the Norden bombsight had influenced German military thinking. Anderson's initial report noted, German technical analysis of the Norden bombsight demonstrates sophistication we didn't anticipate. They fully comprehended its operational principles, but documented systematic inability to replicate it under wartime conditions. Most striking is evidence that our precision bombing capability forced fundamental strategic reassessments at the highest levels of German leadership. The files contained something unexpected: detailed records of German attempts to replicate the bombsights' capabilities and their systematic failures. These weren't failures of understanding or engineering talent. They were failures of industrial capacity, material quality, and manufacturing precision that German leadership had previously believed were their particular strengths. A translated memo from Speer's ministry, dated February 1945, revealed the depth of this realization. We must acknowledge a fundamental misjudgment regarding American technical capability. The precision instruments we have traditionally considered our domain are now being mass-produced by American industry at quality levels and quantities we cannot match under current conditions. This represents not merely a technical gap, but a conceptual failure in our assessment of enemy capabilities. Captain William Donovan, an American optical engineer assigned to the intelligence team, examined captured German prototype components that attempted to replicate Norden functionality. His assessment was revealing: German engineering approaches demonstrate sound theoretical understanding. Their execution failures stemmed from industrial constraints rather than conceptual limitations. They understood what needed to be built but lacked, in the manufacturing ecosystem, to build it consistently at scale. This represented a profound validation of American strategic bombing doctrine. The precision capability embodied in the Norden bombsight had not only enabled effective targeting, it had forced the enemy into a developmental race they could not win under wartime conditions. Germany had diverted scarce engineering talent toward replicating or countering the bombsight rather than developing other weapons systems. June 1945, Wright Field, Ohio. Technical intelligence teams conducted comparative analysis of captured German bombsights alongside the Norden system. The findings reinforced what the German documents had already revealed. German optical and mechanical engineering was sophisticated, but had been fatally constrained by industrial limitations that precision bombing had systematically exploited. Colonel Harold Lee, director of the analysis program, summarized the findings. German bombsight development followed fundamentally different philosophical approaches than our own. They optimized for operator skill enhancement rather than operator replacement. Their systems required expert bombardiers making continuous adjustments, while the Norden automated these calculations and adjustments, allowing less experienced personnel to achieve superior results. This observation highlighted a crucial distinction. Germany had designed weapons systems that extended the capabilities of highly trained specialists. America had designed systems that replaced specialist skills with mechanical precision. Under peacetime conditions, both approaches were valid. Under wartime mass mobilization, the American approach proved vastly more scalable. A technical comparison report dated July 1945 quantified the performance gap. The Norden Mark XV achieves circular error probabilities approximately 35–40% smaller than the best operational German systems when operated by bombardiers of equal experience. This advantage increases to 65% when comparing average rather than elite operator performance. This performance gap explained much about the strategic bombing campaign's evolving effectiveness. As American bomber crews gained experience and newer Norden variants entered service, bombing precision improved steadily. German air defenses, already stretched thin, faced an adversary that grew more precise while requiring fewer sorties to achieve the same destructive effect. August 1945, Washington, D.C., the United States Strategic Bombing Survey compiled comprehensive assessments of the air campaign's effectiveness. Among their findings was a revelation about psychological impact that the captured German documents had first suggested. The Norden bombsight had created a perception of inevitable vulnerability that eroded German confidence in passive defenses. The survey report noted, German documents indicate that precision bombing created disproportionate psychological effects compared to area bombing. Factory workers reported feeling specifically targeted rather than randomly endangered, creating morale impacts that extended beyond actual physical damage. This psychological dimension had magnified the bombsight's strategic impact. The knowledge that American bombers could identify and strike specific buildings rather than simply blanket areas, created a sense of inescapable vulnerability that area bombing alone had not achieved. Workers abandoned factories not just during raids but increasingly between them, fearing return to facilities perceived as specifically targeted. A captured security service report from late 1944 confirmed this effect. Workforce absenteeism now correlates more strongly with precision targeting patterns than with overall bombing intensity. Facilities that have experienced precision strikes report sustained absenteeism rates 35–40% higher than those subjected to area bombing alone. September 1945. MIT Radiation Laboratory, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Technical teams analyzed the integration of radar bombing systems with the Norden bombsight during the war's final phases. What emerged was a more complete understanding of why German countermeasures had ultimately failed against an evolving bombing capability that combined multiple targeting technologies. Dr. Howard Lambert, a technical consultant to the Army Air Forces, documented this evolution. The Norden bombsight began as a purely optical system requiring clear visibility. By war's end, it functioned as the precision component in a sophisticated targeting ecosystem that included radar, radio navigation, and improved formation techniques. German countermeasures focused on individual components rather than the integrated system. This observation highlighted another American advantage: the ability to integrate diverse technologies into cohesive systems. The Norden bombsight had not operated in isolation, but as part of an evolving targeting approach that incorporated new technologies as they became available. German defensive measures that might have been effective against the bombsight alone proved inadequate against this integrated approach. A technical history, compiled in October 1945, traced this evolution. Initial bombing operations relied solely on visual identification and optical calculation. By mid-1944, the system had evolved to incorporate H2X radar for target identification, G and LORAN for navigation, and formation techniques that maximized the effectiveness of lead bombardiers. The Norden bombsight remained the precision core of this evolving system. November 1945, Harvard Business School. Economists studying industrial mobilization examined the Norden bombsight as a case study in transitioning precision manufacturing from artisanal to mass production models. Their findings helped explain why Germany had failed to replicate the bombsight despite understanding its principles. Professor William Stevens documented the contrast. The American achievement wasn't the bombsight's design alone, but the creation of a manufacturing system capable of producing precision instruments at unprecedented scale without sacrificing accuracy. This required reimagining production methods for components previously considered possible only through master craftsmanship. The Norden bombsight contained over 2,000 parts, many requiring tolerances measured in 10,000ths of an inch. Before the war, such precision was the domain of watchmakers and scientific instrument craftsmen working as individuals. The bombsight's production demanded translating this precision to factory floors employing thousands of workers, many with limited technical training. A manufacturing analysis completed in December 1945 quantified this achievement. Peak Norden bombsight production reached approximately 2,200 units monthly by late 1944. Each unit required precision equivalent to fine watchmaking but achieved through systematic production engineering rather than individual craftsmanship. This production volume exceeded Germany's total precision optical manufacturing capacity across all military requirements. January 1946, National Defense University. Military strategists conducting post-war assessments examined the Norden bombsight's role in validating precision bombing doctrine. Their findings reinforced the conclusion that German documents had first suggested. The bombsight had forced fundamental reconsideration of industrial vulnerability assumptions. Dr. Robert Mitchell's strategic assessment stated, "The Norden bombsight transformed bombing from a statistical area effect into a precise industrial surgery." This shift invalidated defensive assumptions based on dispersal, camouflage, and redundancy. When specific machine tools or production bottlenecks could be targeted individually, traditional passive defenses became inadequate. This reassessment highlighted how precision capability had changed strategic calculations. Traditional, industrial defense relied on distributing production to reduce vulnerability to random bombing. Precision bombing negated this strategy by allowing specific critical components to be targeted regardless of distribution. The result was a fundamental vulnerability that no amount of dispersal could overcome. A February 1946 Air War College analysis concluded, "The Norden bombsights' precision capability invalidated core assumptions about industrial resilience under bombing. When critical manufacturing nodes could be identified and targeted individually, the entire production ecosystem became vulnerable in ways that German planners had not anticipated." March 1946, Carl Zeiss Optical Works, American Occupation Zone, Germany. American technical teams interviewed German optical engineers who had examined the Norden bombsight during the war. These interviews revealed a professional admiration that transcended wartime animosity and provided insight into how German technical specialists had viewed American capabilities. Dr. Heinrich Weber, former head of military optics at Zeiss, offered a candid assessment. "What impressed us wasn't the optical principles, which we understood, but the manufacturing precision achieved in mass production. We could produce comparable quality in our finest custom instruments, but the Americans had somehow industrialized this precision at a scale we considered impossible." This perspective reinforced what the captured documents had indicated, that Germany's technical leadership had fundamentally misjudged American industrial sophistication. They had categorized America as capable of quantity but not quality, particularly in precision instruments. The Norden bombsight had shattered this perception, revealing American capability to mass-produce devices requiring tolerances previously associated with European craftsmanship. An interview summary from April 1946 quoted another German engineer. "We had assumed American mass production methods would sacrifice precision for volume. The bombsight demonstrated the opposite. They had developed production techniques that maintained precision while achieving volume beyond our capability. This fundamental misjudgment influenced strategic planning at the highest levels." May 1946, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. Military planners developing post-war strategic doctrine examined the Norden bombsight as a case study in transformative weapon systems. Their analysis focused not just on the device's technical capabilities, but on how it had shaped both American and German strategic thinking throughout the conflict. General Curtis LeMay's strategic assessment noted, "The precision capability embodied in the Norden bombsight fundamentally changed the strategic equation. It allowed us to achieve effects with dozens of aircraft that would have required hundreds using less precise methods. More importantly, it created specific vulnerabilities that the enemy could not mitigate through traditional means." This observation highlighted how the bombsight had influenced both offensive and defensive calculations. American planners had developed targeting strategies based on precision capability that would have been impossible with less accurate systems. German defenders had been forced to confront vulnerabilities that no amount of dispersal or concealment could overcome when specific components could be targeted individually. A June 1946 Air Force study quantified this impact. Bombing accuracy improved approximately 300% between 1942 and 1945. This improvement translated directly to reduced sortie requirements per target destroyed. By 1945, a bombing mission could achieve with 50 aircraft effects that would have required 200 aircraft in 1942. This efficiency gain had strategic implications beyond the obvious reduction in aircraft and crew requirements. It meant that more targets could be struck simultaneously, preventing effective repair and recovery. It allowed planners to target industrial systems rather than individual facilities, creating cascading failures throughout the enemy's production capability. July 1946, MIT, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Engineering faculty studying wartime technology development examined the Norden bombsight as a case study in transforming theoretical capability into practical application. Their findings helped explain why the bombsight had succeeded where other technically sophisticated weapons had failed to achieve operational impact. Professor Edward Manning documented this distinction. The Norden bombsight's success derived from pairing technical sophistication with operational practicality. Its interfaces were designed for use by personnel with limited training under combat conditions. Its maintenance requirements were realistic for field deployment. Its reliability matched its precision, creating a system that delivered theoretical capability in practical application. This observation highlighted a crucial aspect of the bombsight's effectiveness. Many advanced weapons systems failed not because their underlying technology was flawed, but because they couldn't bridge the gap between laboratory performance and battlefield reality. The Norden had succeeded because its designers had considered operational constraints alongside technical capabilities from the beginning. A technical retrospective completed in August 1946 reinforced this conclusion. The bombsight's development process incorporated operational feedback throughout. Early versions were field-tested under realistic conditions, with bombardier experiences directly informing subsequent revisions. This integration of user perspective with engineering development created a system optimized for actual combat conditions rather than theoretical perfection. September 1946, United States Air Force Historical Division. Historians compiling comprehensive accounts of the strategic bombing campaign examined the Norden bombsight's role in shaping operational planning. Their research revealed how precision capability had influenced target selection and prioritization in ways that maximized strategic impact. Dr. James Harrison's historical analysis noted, "The precision capability provided by the Norden bombsight allowed planners to target industrial choke points rather than entire complexes. This approach, described as industrial system attack, focused on identifying and destroying components that would create maximum disruption with minimum bombing effort. This targeting philosophy represented a fundamental shift from traditional bombing doctrine. Rather than attempting to destroy entire industrial sectors through area bombing, American planners had increasingly targeted specific components whose destruction created disproportionate effects throughout enemy production systems." An October 1946 historical study documented this evolution. Target selection evolved from general industrial areas in 1942 to 43 to specific critical components by 1944 to 45. Late war targeting focused particularly on precision-dependent industries, where specialized machine tools or testing equipment represented irreplaceable bottlenecks. This approach had proven devastatingly effective against Germany's sophisticated weapons programs, which relied heavily on precisely the types of specialized manufacturing capability most vulnerable to precision targeting. Programs like jet aircraft, guided missiles, and advanced submarines depended on components that could only be produced using equipment that became primary targeting priorities. November 1946, Harvard University. Business historians studying wartime industrial mobilization examined the Norden bombsight as a case study in translating precision craftsmanship to mass production. Their findings provided additional context for why German attempts to replicate the bombsight had failed despite technical understanding. Professor William Anderson documented this transformation. The Norden bombsight's production represented a fundamental revolution in manufacturing philosophy. Traditional precision instrument making relied on master craftsmen working as individuals. The bombsight required translating this precision to systematic processes that could be performed by workers with limited training under wartime conditions. This manufacturing revolution had required rethinking every aspect of precision production. Specialized machine tools, innovative quality control methods, and new training approaches had been developed specifically to maintain precision tolerances while achieving production volumes unprecedented for instruments of such complexity. A manufacturing history completed in December 1946 described this achievement. Peak bombsight production of 2,200 units monthly required approximately 2,000 precision machining operations per unit, each maintaining tolerances of 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 to 0. 0.0005 inches. Achieving this precision at this scale required fundamental innovations in manufacturing technology that transformed precision instrument production from craft to industry. January 1947, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C. Curators preparing exhibits on wartime technology examined preserved examples of the Norden bombsight alongside captured German documents analyzing its capabilities. These materials revealed the bombsight's dual significance as both a precision instrument and a symbol of industrial capability that had forced enemy strategic reassessment. Curator Robert Williams noted in his exhibition planning, "The Norden bombsight represents not just technical achievement but strategic impact. German documents reveal that its precision forced fundamental reconsideration of industrial vulnerability at the highest levels of enemy leadership. Its significance extends beyond its mechanical function to its role in changing strategic calculations on both sides." This dual significance explained why the bombsight had achieved almost mythical status during the war. For American forces, it represented technological superiority that could overcome enemy defenses. For German defenders, it represented a precision threat that traditional passive defenses could not mitigate. A Smithsonian analysis completed in February 1947 summarized this impact. The Norden bombsight achieved significance beyond its technical specifications. It became emblematic of American industrial capability to mass-produce precision instruments at a scale that German leadership had considered impossible. This perception influenced strategic decisions more profoundly than the device's actual performance alone. The final assessment of the Norden bombsight's strategic impact perhaps came from General Karl Spaatz, commander of United States Strategic Air Forces in Europe. His post-war reflection captured the bombsight's true significance. The Norden bombsight represented more than precision targeting capability. It embodied our ability to solve complex problems through technical innovation and industrial scale. Its greatest impact was forcing the enemy to confront American capabilities they had fundamentally misjudged throughout the conflict. The story of the Norden bombsight and Germany's response to it revealed something profound about modern warfare: that victory often depends not just on battlefield courage, but on industrial and technical ecosystems that enable sophisticated weapons to be produced at scale. The bombsight had embodied precisely the combination of precision engineering and mass production capability that would define American strategic advantage in the mid-20th century. In the decades following World War II, precision-guided munitions would eventually replace the mechanical computers and optical systems of the Norden bombsight. But the fundamental lesson it taught would remain relevant: that industrial capability translated directly to strategic advantage, and that underestimating an adversary's technical sophistication could lead to catastrophic strategic miscalculation. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.